Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the chapter motion. So we all know what is motion, as we have already seen this topic. Like we can observe every creature or every moment in our life that some or the other thing will be moving, like birds flying, or we are walking to some places, or we are going through car or bike, something. Everywhere we can see that there is some kind of motion. So how do we describe that motion? Motion, for describing it, suppose if we are right now, I am in Delhi Public School and you are 2 kilometers away from Delhi Public School. That means for you, Delhi Public School is right now a reference point. You are comparing how much you are far away from Delhi Public School. So Delhi Public School becomes a reference point over here. This kind of reference point we can also call it as origin. So we have to describe our motion by fixing some origin, and from there we have to consider the motion. So the thing which we have studied is reference point. Which is also known as origin. So as I have already told you, here Delhi Public School becomes the origin. So whenever you are moving somewhere, so you can keep some reference point, and with that reference point we can calculate whatever we want. Clear? Now next is we are going to study some major concepts over here. We all have we know about distance. So what do we mean by distance? Like I can say Ram has moved from A to the point B and he has travelled 2 kilometers. He has travelled 2 kilometers. So this 2 kilometers becomes the distance. So distance is nothing. It is actually the actual distance travelled by an object. So distance it is actual path length travelled by an object. So distance is the actual path length travelled by an object. Suppose if I say I have moved from school, okay, and straight I have moved to some other place that is known as B, and again I am going to the point C. The distance over here is 3 kilometer and here it is, let us say it is 2 kilometer. So for this particular situation, for moving from A to C, what is the actual path length travelled? It is 3 plus 2, which is equal to 5 kilometer. So distance in this particular case is 5 kilometer. I hope you have understood this. Next, we are going to see a slightly different topic, that is, which is different from distance. The another new topic is displacement. Displacement. So what do we mean by displacement? Again, I'll take the same example. Like I have moved from A to B by travelling 3 kilometer and from B to C by travelling 2 kilometer. As I have told, if I ask you what is distance, that is 3 plus 2, it is equal to 5 kilometer. So our distance is 5 kilometer, that is the actual path length travel. But what is the meaning of displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance between the initial point and the final point of our journey. So displacement is the shortest distance. If I say the initial point over here, the initial point is A and the final point is C. So the shortest distance will be a straight line from A to C. If I say that is A to C, so using right angle triangle, Pythagoras theorem, we can find out what is AC. So this AC gives us the displacement. So displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and final point. That is shortest distance between the initial and final point. I hope it is clear for everyone. So there is a slight difference between the distance and displacement. That is, distance is the actual path length travelled and displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and the final point. Now if you see the unit, in distance case also, the unit which we are measuring, the physical quantity which we are measuring is a length. And in case of displacement also, the physical quantity which we are measuring is length. So we usually follow SI unit throughout our world. So the SI unit for distance and displacement is meter. The SI unit for distance and displacement is meter. So whenever we have some problems, we should try to use proper SI unit in the problems. Okay. Some more important topics, some more important points you can observe here. As can you suggest some examples where displacement is 0? Every time is the displacement more or less? And can there be any case where displacement is 0? We can see that. Like suppose if I have moved from point A, okay, and I am going to mark it by traveling so and so distance, how much it is also, which is at point B, and again after finishing my shopping, I'll again come back to point A. So if you see here, suppose if this is 5 km from A to B, if you are moving from A to B and again you are coming back to A, that is your actual path length travelled is 5 plus 5, that is equal to 10 kilometers, which is the distance travelled by you. But if you are coming back again, you can observe that your initial point and the final point is the same, which is nothing, it is displacement. So your displacement in this case is 0. So displacement can be 0 also. And one more point which you can observe is displacement will be always less than or equal to distance. It can never be more than the distance, because you can observe, suppose a person is moving from point A to point B only this much, then your displacement is 5 km and your distance is also 5 km, both are same. But if you are returning back again to point A, here your distance becomes 10 km, but your displacement becomes only your displacement is 0. So which is like you can observe that in both the cases it is either equal to or it is less than. The displacement is either equal to or less than the distance travelled. So the two more important points which you should note down about displacement is, displacement, it is an important note, displacement can be 0, but distance will never be 0, because if you are travelling some path, that means it is not 0. If you are resting in a position, it can be 0, but if you are moving, the distance will never be 0, but the displacement can be 0. And also the second point is displacement is either less than or equal to distance. So till now we have seen what is the meaning of distance, what is the meaning of displacement, and what is the difference between distance and displacement, and some two more important points about displacement, that it can be 0 and displacement is either less than or it can be equal to the distance traveled, but displacement can never be more than the distance traveled, and even distance traveled can never be equal to 0 because we are traveling some distance and it can never be 0, but displacement, yeah, of course, when you come back to the same point, the displacement can become 0. Till now we have observed some of the things, what is distance and displacement, but the important point in physics is that we should be able to apply that particular case in our daily life. So now we are going to focus on some problems which is based on distance and displacement. See, the first question is, an object moves from point A to point B and to point C. Okay, so I will draw point A, then point B, and then point C. So the object has gone from A to B and then point B to C, and again the object is coming back to B and then it again goes to point C. So you can see it has traveled 3 times this distance. I mean, first the object is moving from point A to point B and then to C. Again you are going from C to B and then from B to C along the line shown in the figure below, which is given over here. So I have just drawn the shortest thing. If you observe, in A it is 0 kilometer, in B it is around 5 kilometer, and at C it is 9 kilometer. It's a number line which is depicted over there. Now they are asking, the first part is, find the distance covered by the moving object. As I have already told you, the distance is the actual path length travelled. Distance is the actual path length travelled. So actually how much did he do? That is AB, then BC, he has moved, and again he has done CB. So BC and CB, they are same. Again he has gone from B to C. So if you observe, from A to B this is 5 kilometer, and from B to C it is 9. So I can write it as, from here to here it is 4 kilometer. From 9 to 5 it is 4 kilometer. So 4 into 3, that is 3 times we have travelled 4 kilometers. So 5 plus 12, which is nothing but 17 kilometer. So answer A part is distance travelled. So this is the answer for the actual path length or the distance travelled in this particular case, that is 17 kilometer. Now we will observe, find the magnitude and the direction of the displacement of the object. Find the magnitude and the direction. Magnitude, please don't be afraid of the word magnitude. Magnitude is nothing but we are just indicating it with the number. Like, I have moved 200 meters, so the 200 is the magnitude. You have moved 100 meters, 100 is the magnitude. That is how much, the quantitative term is the magnitude. If you see here, the magnitude of the displacement. So if I say displacement, I have already told that displacement is nothing, it is the shortest distance between the initial and the final point. If you observe, the object has already moved from A to B and then to C, it has again come to B and then again it has gone to the C. If you see the entire journey, you can observe that the initial position is A and the final position is C. So we can observe from the number line that from initial position A to C it is 9 kilometer as given on this number line. It is 9 kilometer. So the displacement here is 9 kilometer. And in the question they have asked you the direction. So direction is nothing but you should just say it is 9 kilometer away from point A in the same direction, in the direction of the motion. Clear? So this is the question number 1 about the problem which deals with distance and displacement. Now we will move to next problem. Now let us move to question number 2. The question number 2 as shown in the figure. Okay. So first the question is, an object moves from point A to point C along the rectangle. So in the figure there is a rectangle given from you and the object is moving from point A to point C. So that means the object is going from A to B and then B to C. Okay. So the object moves from point A to point C. Then question is, find the distance covered by the moving object. So distance is nothing but total path length travelled. And second part is, find the magnitude of the displacement. So how much is the displacement, that also we should find out. If you observe carefully this figure, there is a grid pattern over this picture. There is a grid pattern and you can see that here this one unit, I mean not one unit, this one single line, that is one side of this square or this rectangle. This is a rectangle over here. So the single side, this basement side or this anything, that is considered as 1 kilometer. So one single side, that is 1 kilometer, which is given with the green line, that is 1 kilometer it indicates over here. If you see point A to point C, if I count the line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from A to B it is 5 kilometer. So the distance is 5 kilometer plus here if I see 1, 2, 3, that is from B to C it is 3 kilometer. Totally it is 5 plus 3, that is 8 kilometer. So the distance from A to C is 8 kilometer. The distance from A to C is 8 kilometer. Next question is, find the magnitude of the displacement of the object. Find the magnitude of the displacement. If you observe, as I am redrawing the figure over here without any grid pattern. If you observe, this is A, this is B and this is C. We have already calculated that this is 5 kilometer and we have already seen that from B to C it is 3 kilometer. And we already know that displacement is the shortest distance between A to C. So if you observe the displacement in this particular case is AC, which is nothing. We all know about Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem is nothing but, over this case this AC will be equal to square root of AB square plus BC square. AB is nothing but 5. So 5 square plus 3 square, which is nothing but 25, 9. So this gives us root over 34 kilometer. So our displacement is root 34 kilometer. So displacement is the shortest distance, which in this case this becomes the hypotenuse of this rectangle and which gives us root 34 kilometer is the displacement in this particular case. So this is like we are going to discuss a variety of problems over here. First I have taken a straight line case, now I am taking a rectangle case, next it will be something different. So the question number 3 is, now in this particular case we are observing a circle and again there is a grid pattern, but if you observe here at the bottom it is like a single line indicates 1 meter. Last previous case it was 1 kilometer, but in this case it is 1 meter. Now we will move on to the question, an object moves from A to B and then to C and then finally to D along the circle shown in the figure. So it's like the object is moving from this point A to B, then to C and then to D. So the final point of the journey is D. Find the distance covered by the moving object. Find the distance covered by the moving object along this circle and find the magnitude of the displacement is the second part. So in this question we are observing a different pattern over here. We are observing a circle and here somewhere A is there and here it is D. We are observing that this is the circumference of the circle. We all know circumference of the circle is nothing but the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, where r is the radius. Circumference is 2 pi r. In this case now we don't know what is radius, but we have got this picture what is radius. If you observe, if you see that this is the radius part, so if you move from here, the radius is 1, 2, 3. If you see, the radius is 3 meters. So from the figure we will come to know that r is equals to 3 meter. Again one more thing we will observe, that we can see that here it is B and here opposite to A is C. When you observe that, here it is D. When you observe that from A to D, you can see in this circle, the circle is divided into 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But if you see the fraction of the part, I mean this circumference is consisting of 3 parts of this entire circumference. This from A to D, the distance is 3/4 of the circumference, because it makes 1, and here we are covering one part, then second part and then third part. So the distance traveling from A to D is 3/4 of the circumference. So 3/4 of circumference. Circumference is nothing but 2 pi. We know the value of pi, 22/7, and r is 3 meters. And when we do the calculation, 2 2s are 4 and then 11. If you observe, it's 99/7. So 99/7 meters. 99/7 meters is the, finally you can change into the mixed fraction or you can convert it into the decimals also. So 99/7 meter is the distance traveled from A to B to C and then to D. So that is nothing but 3/4 of the circumference, and that is 2 pi r, and pi value is 22/7, or you can use 3.14 also. Here I have used 25/7 and the radius is 3 meter. So this is about the distance traveled by the object. But now we have discussed that displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and the final point. In this case, the initial point is A and the final point is D. So the shortest distance becomes this line, the line AD. In order to calculate this, we already know that radius is 3, and that means this is also radius, this also becomes a 3. Again we will use Pythagoras theorem over this triangle. Let us consider this central point as O. So we will consider triangle AOD, which is a right angle triangle. So we can apply Pythagoras theorem over here. That is AD is equal to 3 square plus 3 square. 3 square plus 3 square. This is nothing but 9 plus 9, and which is nothing root 18. So root 18 meters is the displacement of the object which is traveling from A to D. That is, displacement is the shortest distance, so root 18 meter is the shortest distance or the displacement of this particular case. Last question of this particular concept, that is distance and displacement concept. An object moves along the grid through the points A, B, C, D, E, F, and then it is finally F. Okay, so the object is no doubt it's moving from A to B, B to C, C to D, E and F. But if you observe the grid line, that is each line that is 0.5 kilometer. Each line is 0.5 kilometer. So whatever line, how many lines you are getting, if you multiply it with 0.5, you will get the actual, you will get that path, that length of that particular line. So in this case also, find the distance covered by the moving object. So what is the distance covered by the moving object in this particular case? I'm sorry. Distance covered by the object. So distance covered, if you observe each line, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From A to B it is 6. I can write it as AB plus BC plus CD plus DE plus EF. Right? Now if I say AB, as I have already calculated, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 6 into 0.5 kilometer plus BC is 1, 2. 2 into 0.5. CD, it is 1, 2, 3. 3 into 0.5. Next, DE. DE is 1 and EF is also 1. So I can write 0.5 plus 0.5. No need to calculate this much. We can even calculate directly and we can multiply also. So if you see, this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is 13 into 0.5, which is nothing but 6.5. So 6.5 kilometer is the distance traveled by this object when it moves from point A to F. The total distance covered by the object is 6.5 kilometer. I hope this is clear for you. And again the next question is displacement traveled by the object. So displacement now we will observe. Displacement is, when we observe displacement, that means if you see the initial point is A and the final point is F. So we have to make a straight line like this. From A to F, we are going to make a straight line. When you observe from A to F and then from F to perpendicular line, this completely makes a straight line. I mean a right angled triangle it will give us. If you observe the figure, whenever we are joining, I am going to rub this one. The figure which when we join A to F, we will get a figure like this something. This is A, this is F, and let us arbitrarily take it as O. And if we observe, if I make a straight line from F over this bottom line, I can see the distance as 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4 into, this is 4 units. So that is nothing but 4 into 0.5. Okay. And if I see this one, this is 1, 2, 3. The perpendicular line is 3. So this one is 3 into 0.5. Now, when I want to do this, find out this hypotenuse, because this is the shortest distance traveled, we know that this 3 into 1.5, 0.5 is nothing but it is 1.5. And we know that 4 into 0.5 is nothing but it is 2. So when we take out the hypotenuse, this AF is nothing but it is 1.5 square plus 2 square. So we can see that 1.5 square is nothing but 2.25 plus this is 4, and this gives you root over 6.25, and we know that 25 square is 625, so we will get from here 2.5. So 2.5 kilometer is the displacement travelled. 2.5 kilometer is the displacement travelled by the object when it moves from A to F. So when it moves from A to F, the displacement is 2.5 kilometer, which we have found it through the Pythagoras theorem. Now we will continue with further topic. We have already discussed about distance, displacement, and the problems, the variety of problems which can come under distance and displacement. So in that you have observed from straight line to rectangle and then to circle and finally some zigzag path also. So I hope it's clear for everyone. Now we will go on to the next further topic. We will continue with the chapter motion, I mean the different types of motion. It's not different types, but there is change and some different kinds of motion we will observe in our daily life. First one is uniform motion. So this is a basic concept. Why we do uniform means what? Uniform means it's like same, similar. So we all do wear uniform for the school. Why do we wear uniform for the school? We wear uniform so that everybody should look equal. So uniform indirectly conveys a meaning to us, that is something which is equal. So uniform motion means what? A motion where equal distances is being travelled in equal intervals of time. I know that it's confusing for you. Now suppose I am at point A and I'll make a straight line. It's a linear path. So mostly we are going to study about linear path only. Linear means a straight line, which is also known as rectilinear motion. And this is point C. And in between some point B is also there. Now we will forget this. We all know about number line. So this is A and starts with 0. This is 5 and then 10, 15, 20, 25. So I mean what I meant to say is these all are in kilometers, or let us say in a simpler units, these are all are in meters, and the distance between 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15 is same. And now I am saying these all distance are equal. I mean 0 to 5 it is 5 meters, 5 to 10 it is again 5 meters, 10 to 15 it is again 5 meters. So if you observe on the number line, every place it is demarcated with 5 meters. Now what is uniform motion? That means suppose if I am taking some 15 seconds from traveling from 0 to 5 kilometer. I mean if this is A and this is B, from A to B I am taking 15 seconds, which is we are taking 5 meters, and to travel 5 meters you are taking 15 seconds. Again next 5 meters we are taking again 15 seconds. Again I am taking 15 seconds. Again I am taking 15 seconds. Again 15 seconds. So it is like throughout your journey, when you are traveling equal distances in equal intervals of time, that is in 15 seconds or any other according to your convenience. When you travel equal distances in equal intervals of time, that is known as uniform motion. So as I have already told you, we are wearing uniform, that is something which represents equality. So same way, when you travel equal distances in equal intervals of time, that is known as uniform motion. So let us write the definition. It's a motion in which an object travels equal distances in equal intervals of time. So I hope you are clear with the concept uniform motion. Next comes non-uniform motion. So it's very clear, non-uniform means which is not uniform. But what is the definition? Now suppose if I am moving from here to some place, okay, I have travelled 2 meters. After going there, I have seen that there is lot of crowd. So what actually happens to my motion? Will I be faster or slower? We know that when we are moving in a crowd, we become slow, right? So while moving slowly, same time, here I am taking from this place. For example, I am going to market, okay, market, I have taken some 15 minutes. But after entering into market, because of lot of rush and crowd in the market, I will be moving slowly. So in 15 minutes, I have travelled here almost 2 kilometers, but inside market, I will not be able to even travel 1 kilometer because of lot of crowd. So what happens actually in both same time taken from here to market and then inside market when I am roaming, the time taken is 15 minutes only, but here I have travelled 2 kilometers, but inside market I will not be able to even travel 2 kilometers. So you can observe that I am travelling unequal distances in equal intervals of time. So non-uniform motion is the motion when an object travels unequal distances in equal intervals of time. Mostly in our day-to-day life we will feel with non-uniform motion only. Like when we are going normally in a car or bike, we are going with some we are traveling some kilometers, but when we are going on some highway, within short interval period of time we are able to travel lot of distance because there is lot of gap. I mean, we are getting lot of space when we are moving on the highways. There will not be much rush, but suddenly when you enter into market, our traveling distance will become less with the time. So you can observe that there is variation in the distance travel. So non-uniform motion is unequal distances travelled in equal intervals of time. So these are the two differences, that is, one is uniform motion and another is non-uniform motion. And uniform motion is the equal distances travelled in equal intervals of time, whereas non-uniform motion is unequal distances travelled in equal intervals of time. Okay, now next, few more important topics we are going to study. Suppose some two people are going in a bike, okay, two are going to the same place. Let me consider one is A and another is B. A is going to his, they are going to, both are going to market, but A is going in 12 minutes and B is going in 30 minutes. So who is going faster? The faster one is B? No, the faster one is A. So A is going faster comparative to B. So here, because it is of less time and only two members are there, we are able to distinguish the people. But when many people are there, when it is a complex situation, how do we determine whether an object is moving faster or whether an object is moving slower? How do we determine that? So we can determine it using by finding out their speed. So here comes the speed. Speed is a quantity which tells us how fast or how slow an object is moving. So if the speed is more, that means the object is moving very fastly compared to time. With respect to time, it is moving very fastly. If it is very slow, that means in large amount of time it is moving a very little distance. But if the speed is more, it is moving more distances in very short interval of time. So usually the speed concept even we will use in running race and all, because we will see the speed, how a person is moving or running, something like that. So now next term which we study about is the speed. At the same time, we are going to study another concept, that is velocity. So there is difference between both, usually we will use, but there is different. In our normal day-to-day life, everybody uses the term speed, but actually it is not speed. We are moving in a place, it's where we should use the term velocity, but for a layman we are using the term as speed only. But there is difference between speed and velocity. So speed is, like I have already told, speed is nothing but how fast an object is moving. So speed is basically the distance travelled per unit time. Speed is the distance travelled per unit time. Distance travelled in a unit time. Speed is the distance travelled per unit time. So the formula for speed will be distance travelled by time taken. Distance travelled by time taken. Whereas velocity, it's usually we will call it as speed with direction. That means velocity consists of speed. The same speed will come under velocity, but velocity also includes direction, like east, west. I have gone 2 kilometers towards north side of my house. So that is the north side, that indicates direction. So if you move, if you observe that in our day-to-day life, we are not moving in a single direction. We usually change our direction and we are going. So usually we should use the term velocity, but for common man it is speed. We are not using the term velocity. So there is difference between speed and velocity. Speed is distance travelled by time taken, whereas velocity includes direction also. And the velocity is displacement travelled by time taken. Displacement travelled per unit time. So the formula for velocity is displacement by time taken. So as I have already told you, distance is actual path length travel, and displacement is the shortest distance travelled between any two objects. Next we will study one more important concept which is not there for lower class, but I'll tell. We will usually call speed as scalar quantity. Speed is a scalar. So scalar means we always use a term, his speed is 20 meter per second or 22 meter per second. So if you see that this 20, 22, and even if you see vehicles where we are involving speedometer, it usually shows 20 km per hour or something like that. So that the number 20, 22, 30, these all are magnitude. So scalar quantity is a quantity which involves only magnitude. So speed usually consists of only magnitude, whereas velocity is the vector quantity. Velocity is the vector quantity. So vector quantity is the quantity which involves both magnitude and as well as direction. So I have already told you, suppose my speed is 20 meter per second towards north side, towards each side. So it involves speed along with the direction. So it involves both magnitude and direction. So remember this point, that scalar quantity is a quantity which involves only magnitude, and vector quantity is a quantity which involves both magnitude and as well as direction. If alone magnitude is there, then that is not a vector quantity, that is a scalar quantity. When you can observe both magnitude and direction, that time it becomes a scalar quantity, vector quantity. And here we can see the difference, that speed is a scalar quantity and velocity is the vector quantity. Now we have seen these two things, and I have already told you speed is distance, okay, and velocity is displacement. So there is not much difference, both are like we are talking about some length. So I can write it like this, distance or displacement by time taken. So in physics, whatever we do, we have to write the units. The unit is very, very important. Whether you are talking about meter or whether you are talking about seconds, milliseconds or kilometer, that is very important. So how to find out the unit for this? So speed, usually we define it with S, or velocity we are going to define it with V. So anything you can use. So the speed or the velocity, the unit will be SI unit. SI unit will be, now you can see SI unit, if you see distance or displacement, we know that SI unit for length is meter. We know that distance and displacement both are considered as length. So the SI unit of length is meter, which is indicated with small m, right? Now we know that SI unit for time is seconds. So we will write it as S, with small s we will represent as seconds. So if you see, this SI unit is m by s, or we can write it as meter per second. So we should pronounce it as meter per second. So the SI unit for speed or velocity is meter per second. So this is a very, very important point, that is SI unit of speed and velocity is meter per second. Now also, along with the units, we should be very, very careful in physics about the conversion of the units. Please, whenever you are reading the question, make sure that the units are same. The data which is given, the unit should be same. If it is not, there is not a proper unit, then suppose at one point they have written Ram is traveling with 2 km per hour and Sita is traveling with 200 meter per second. So either you convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, or you convert meter per second into kilometer per hour. But if you do 200 and the 2 km together, then it becomes wrong, because you all know that is 1 kilometer is itself is nothing but 1000 meter, right? So it will make a huge difference when you combine both those kilometer per hour and as well as meter per second. So make sure that the units are same. Convert into any single unit. If best will be the standard unit, that is SI unit, that is meter per second. Now we will observe how we should convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, or kilometer per hour into meter per second. Now suppose I want to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. We know that 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meter. And 1 hour is equals to how many seconds? That is 60 minutes into, when we do 60, that becomes seconds. So if you cancel these zeros, you can observe that it is 10 by 6 is 36, or further even you can cancel it with 2 times. We will get that this is 5 by 18. So this is nothing but 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. 1 kilometer per hour is equals to 5 by 18 meter per second. If suppose in a question it is given convert 18 kilometer per hour into meter per second, then what will be the answer? Remember, every time we cannot solve this conversion of units. So it is better to remember any one thing. So if they ask you 18 km per hour, how you will convert into meter per second? I know that 1 km per hour is equals to 5 by 18 meter per second. So 18 km per hour is nothing but it is equal to 18 into 5 by 18 meter per second. So this 18 gets cancelled, which is nothing but 5 meter per second. So 18 km per hour is equals to 5 meter per second. So in physics the conversion of units is very important. So obviously from this result even we can write like 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. Even we can write this. So in question, suppose if you want to convert everything, or if they are asking you to convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, then you have to use this particular formula. So remember any one thing so that you can derive the other thing. Even if you forget, no problem, but you can derive this. Like you know that 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meters, and we know that 1 hour is equals to 60 into 60 seconds. So just do the cancellation. You will get how much how to convert the kilometer per hour into meter per second or vice versa. Now next we will deal with the problems of on speed and velocity. So the question is a man walks 7 km in 2 hours and 2 km in 1 hour in the same direction. Okay, so same direction means I can make a line, that is a single line I can make. So what he is saying, he has travelled 7 km. Let us consider this as 7 km. Till here it is 7 km and he has taken 2 hours, and again he is travelling the same direction. So next to 2 km, this is 2 km, and this he has travelled in another 1 hour. So can you say this is whether it is uniform motion or non-uniform motion? Actually you can find it out whether it is uniform or non-uniform motion. So the first part is, what is a man's average speed for the whole journey? Yes, I forgot to tell you one thing. We will deal with average speed and average velocity only, because basically the motion which we are dealing is non-uniform motion, where the humans or our speed will not be same all the time. Like for first 10 minutes my speed is different, and for the next 10 minutes my speed will be different, because as I have already told you, when we move in a crowded road our speed will be less, and when we move in a very rush or very suppose like highway, our speed will be more. So when we ask you what is your speed, you cannot tell any one speed, because here you have travelled very slowly, your speed was very less, and in highway your speed was very more. So in this particular concept, particular situation, we use the term average speed, which is a combination of all and giving you something average which is not exact. Here we cannot find out the exact speed because of the change in our speed. So we will usually deal with average speed and average velocity. So what is the average speed of the whole journey? So we know that average speed is nothing but total distance travelled divided by total time taken. So the distance travelled is how much? From here to here the distance travelled is 7 km, and then from again, let us say this is as A, B and this is C, and again from B to C we have taken 2 kilometers. So 7 plus 2. So the distance actually which is travelled, the distance is 7 plus 2, which is equals to 9 km. And if you see the time taken is here from A to B he has taken 2 hours, and from B to C it was 1 hour. So 2 plus 1, it is equals to 3 hours. And we know that speed is nothing but distance by time. So just what is distance? Distance is 9 and speed time taken is 3 hours. So when you cancel, this gives you 3 kilometer per hour. Please note the unit. Here it is not meter per second, because both the quantity they have given us kilometer and hours. For the case of A, both the situations they have used the kilometer and as well as hour. So no need to convert it into meter per second until or unless it has been asked in the question. So here we will just write the answer as 3 kilometer per hour. Now the second part is, what is the man's average velocity for the whole journey? I have already told you average velocity is nothing but displacement by time taken. So what is the shortest distance from where to where the object has moved? So displacement over here, in this particular case, if you see displacement, the initial point is A and the final point is C. So displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final point. So the shortest distance is 7 plus 2, that is again it is 9 kilometer, and the time taken is again 3 hours, and therefore the velocity is nothing but 9 by 3, which is again 3 kilometer per hour. So in this situation, the speed and as well as velocity both are same, that is 3 kilometer per hour. Now next we will move on to next question. The question is very simple, but it is little tilted, that's it. Here we are using even direction also. A man walks 7 kilometer east in 2 hours. So east is in this direction, okay. He walks 7 kilometer and he walks it in 2 hours, right? And then 2.5 kilometer west in 1 hour. So again he is coming back and he is traveling, this is 2.5 kilometer, and that too he is doing it in 1 hour. In 1 hour he is traveling 2.5 kilometer. So from A he is going back to B, that is in east direction, and again he is coming back, and this is, let us consider C, which is nothing from B to C, it is 2.5 kilometer. He is doing it in 1 hour. So what is the man's average speed for the whole journey? Now I have already told you speed is nothing but distance travelled by time taken. So distance is 7 plus 2.5, that is 9.5 kilometer divided by total time taken is 2 plus 1, 3. So this gives you 3.1 something kilometer per hour, right? So we should be careful with the unit. So the speed here is 9.5, that is total distance is 7 kilometer plus 2.5 kilometer, because he is again going back from here to A to B, it is 7 kilometer, and again he is going back. So total distance travelled is 9.5 by 3, which is nothing but 3.1 kilometer per hour. Now what is the man's average velocity? Velocity, I told displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final point. As I have already told you, the initial point here is A, and in this journey the final point is C, right? The final point is C. So the distance between A to C is, the total here it is 7, and this particular part is 2.5. So initial is A and final is C. So the distance between A and C is nothing but 7 minus 2.5, which is nothing but 4.5. So displacement is 4.5 kilometer and the time taken is 3 kilometer. So when you will calculate, this gives you 1 point something, 1.5 kilometer per hour. So 1.5 kilometer per hour is the velocity, of the man. So there is change in speed and velocity. Speed is a magnitude only, whereas velocity consists of magnitude and as well as direction. So you can see that the velocity is 1.5 kilometer and the speed is 3.1 kilometer per hour.